Welcome to Decades, hosted by Chris Rubio. Decades is a show made up of 5 generations of people brought together to discuss topics you wouldn't normally talk about with others. The goal of the show is to learn by having some good, possibly heated discussions, without losing the simple fact that it's okay to talk to different people with different opinions other than your own.
What is up? We are live. My name is Chris Rubio. I'm the host of Decades. Before I even forget, Sub 60 Ed, come on out because I know you're going to yell at me. This is your season where you become, let's just say, an angry little. I won't even finish it.
Well, remember what happens if don't call me Elf. Don't call me Elf. I'll have to come through the. Not much, man. You know, I just saw this. I saw this thing on Instagram. You know, can't get used to me being around all the time, because I'm going to have to be called up north here shortly. The big man's going to be calling me back to help him out for all those good little boys and girls. No, excited to be back. Season 2.
Yeah, season 2. We want to welcome back everyone. We had a couple of weeks off to refresh. We're going to be running right now. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course the NGBN.TV network. Feel free to make comments. Sub 60's got his little paw out there. He's going to be monitoring him. You can talk to the panel as much as you want. This is going to be more of a lighthearted and fluffy show. We're going to talk more about family and stuff like that. Let's talk about our family. We're going to start from the 20s up. First up, we have Charles Wallace Jr. We call him Chalice. He's a 2-time wiffle ball champ. He's a host of From Gridiron to Goalposts, and he's really into AI blondes in bikinis. What is up, Chalice? Really? Chalice, can you hear me?
Oh, I can now.
Did he freeze already?
Technical difficulties. It's the AI blondes.
Hey, it happens.
It's the AI blondes.
So what's going on, man? How is Gridiron to Goalposts? What's your percentage right now?
We're 55 and 46. Math has never been my strong suit, but we're 55 and 46.
Sub 68, you're a math guy. That's over 50%.
That's over
right?
50%. Yeah, that's probably like 50. You're probably like 55%. You're okay. Over 500. You're over 500 by
that's all that matters.
Games. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want Gino to find you though. You'll end up down in South Philly. You fall below 500.
Let's go to our 30s. Living in Canada, we've got Jenna Ganjay. That's the way I pronounce it. I can never get it right. She's a CrossFit competitor. She's killed a bat in her kitchen with a knife where you did stab it, right?
Pardon?
You stabbed the bat?
Yep, I did.
Ooh, okay. She's a CrossFit competitor, and she deadlifts 315 pounds. Welcome, Jenna Ganjay.
I like the hand.
I know. Every time he does the hand thing.
Yes. It's a habit. Are you freezing in Canada right now?
No, not freezing in Calgary right now. It has been cold, but it's about, I think, 0. Snow is melting. Whoops.
Okay, what is that? We don't speak metric.
I don't know. I'm in Canada.
Ed, do some numbers. Okay, let's move on to our 50s. We've got Alex Chris. He's from the Ukraine, grew up in the USSR, lives in LA. He's a beer connoisseur. What is up? We call him Gru. What's up, Gru?
It's all good. Greetings from Los Angeles, where movies are no longer made.
Yeah, they're no longer. Actually, a lot of movies are made in Canada now.
Canada, Georgia, elsewhere, but not LA because it's too expensive.
Yeah, good job. That's probably a good move. And last but not least, in our 60s, we've got the great Bill Geiser, entrepreneur, wearable tech guru, phenomenal swimmer, lives in Florida, and has 47 Apple Watch bands. What's up, Bill Geiser?
Hey, I like when you save the best for last, and I feel like I'm the anchor man here on Team Decades. Glad to be here.
You are the anchor man. All right, guys, let's talk. We've had some heated shows in the past. Let's have a nice fluffy show. Everyone has seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Okay, yes. The main character is obviously this kind of a nerd lady. She takes a little while to get married. Her family's over the top, beyond over the top. Her dad goes around and sprays everything with Windex because that's going to solve everyone's problems. If you got a wart, Windex. If you got a heart problem, Windex. You got something in your eye, Windex. You got a splinter, Windex. I want to know from you guys what medical treatments your family uses that you think are normal, but when you've told them to other people, they are abnormal. I will start where my family, the Italian side, has this thing where they're afraid to say any diseases out loud. So for instance, if we're having a conversation, I'm telling Bill Geiser, hey, Bill, my aunt Tessie, she's got leukemia. So I would have to whisper leukemia, or they think that you can get the disease. And it's very, very annoying if you do not know them, because what happens is you're listening, and then you think like a chunk of earwax just fell into your ear or something, because they'll be saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe Bill Geyser, his brother just had a sudden case of diarrhea." So that's one thing I will say. Bill Geyser, you've been on the planet the longest. Does your family have any weird sort of medical treatments that we need to know about?
Well, this isn't a medical treatment. I got to be a little delicate and careful here, because, family politics and such. But there was a time when my kids were young that a certain family member was very insistent that we do not expose them to the night air.
What do you mean the night air? Like air at night?
Like the windows had to be closed at night.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Like fresh air is not good. Close it because of the night air.
But the air during the day was fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm just
that's a
going
good
to
one
leave
to
it
start
there.
with.
I think I've probably already crossed the lines anyway.
No, that's fine. We just had Charles Wallace Sr. just chime in. He said, just ignore it. That seems to be a dude thing where you just ignore it at all points. Chalice, being that is your Papa Bear. What has he spewed any knowledge onto you about family treatments?
Well, he kind of took mine. He kind of took mine, so thanks for that, Dad. But I will say, Bill, in my neighborhood, it's detrimental to your health to be exposed to the nighttime air. So I can relate to that one.
So going out at night is bad.
And I will say it
Precisely.
was a northern city, which must remain undisclosed, is the origination of it.
Okay, northern and the eastern part of the United States.
My lips are sealed.
I mean, maybe last
Okay, so
night
this
for
family member is
Halloween.
still alive. Here's another one. We'll continue on this one, but I wanted to throw this one out as well. I remember I was probably about 13 or 14. I was camping with my buddy. His parents had a camper, going out there, and I got a splinter. And my entire life, my mom or dad did this where they would heat up a needle on the stove. They
Yes.
heated up a needle, got red hot, then you waited a second, and then you started literally just gouging your hand out, like we were on the set of 1883 or Wyatt Earp. And they would just gouge it out until they would just tear up your skin. And then I remember when I got the piece of wood stuck in my hand when I was camping, the mom comes over with tweezers. And I go, "What are you doing?" Okay. And she goes, "You just pull the splinter out." And I remember being so pissed. Like, I went through 14 years of hell when all you had to do was just get a pair of tweezers and pull it out. Have you guys have any experience like that? Jenna, any medical treatments or things that you found out later? Me, Canadian, too. This could be a whole different world.
I recently found out that going outside in the cold with wet hair does not make you sick.
I don't have that trouble.
Well, I was told as a growing up that it does, and not too long ago, I just come out of the shower and I was supposed to go inside the cold. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna get a cold. Like, it's cold outside. They're like, that's not true. So I called I called my mom and I'm like, did you know that this isn't true? She goes, yeah. I'm like, well, that's news to me. Still 37.
Well, then who were you listening to? Who were you listening to the whole time?
Well, that's what my mom kept saying. I guess
So she was
just didn't
lying
want
to
us
you.
go outside.
Good strategy. Gru, what about in Russia, USSR, Ukraine?
Well, we had the same thing about wet hair and not going out, or putting some kind of head covering after you take a shower or take a bath. If there is a wind, you might get some kind of disease, and stuff. So I was told when I was a little boy, to cover my head, even when I was walking around the apartment, okay, after I took a shower, for example. And the splinter part, we had similar stuff where you basically do the needle stuff to disinfect it, before you try to take the splinter out. It was for,
I get
for
that,
kind of
Gru, but
stuff.
I don't need to be jamming a javelin into my hand
I know.
when you can use a damn pair of tweezers.
Well,
I feel like the tweezers is a much better option.
I bet in Soviet. Well, I probably back in Soviet Union days we didn't have many tweezers available. Okay, so the needle was actually the only solution.
Yeah, I figure like back when you guys were, not to throw you and Bill, but maybe the times were a little bit more primitive. If the judge was here, I know they were primitive. He just probably just rubbed dinosaur bones together. He's just faking work right now.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, we're going to come back from a commercial. We're going to talk about our favorite holidays and why. Sub 60 Ed, take us away.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
This is NGBN TV, a network for men and home to top experts, speakers, authors, and more. Streaming TV for men, created by men.
But why?
Why are we a network that inspires,
Educates, entertains, celebrates, and supports
men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, simply to save men's lives.
There is an epidemic in our community,
and it's taking men from us?
I'm talking about mental health and suicide.
But we have an answer, and it's streaming, live shows, sports, concerts, and more.
in a real way for men to lock shields.
We can't wait to launch this TV network for you and with you.
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 Join our movement at ngbn.tv, coming January 2024.
Welcome back to Decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Ed, Sub 60 Ed, do you see what I'm doing right now? You see
Yes,
I'm
I
smiling?
see. Yes, you're smiling. Yes,
I told you, stop running that commercial until you redo it with a smile.
I
are
didn't
you
have
so
to go.
pissed
I
off?
didn't. No, I was trying to be serious. I'd have to go back to Jodis and have him redo it, and that would just be so much. Because I was
Well,
trying to
you
do
look
it
so
seriously.
angry.
But I'm not
It's-
angry.
It's frightening.
And I understand what you're trying to do, but I die laughing every single time.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I know. It was.
You're not a serious guy. No one wants to see you serious.
I don't know how I should take that, but I'll take that as a compliment. But here we have a Facebook user who's watching us on Facebook.
Use a
Hello,
credit
Facebook
card to help
user.
remove a splinter.
Yes, there you
What
go.
credit
How does
card?
that work?
Exactly.
Use a
Where do
credit
you do
card.
that?
You have credit cards.
You just scrape it or something?
Well, maybe
Does
they'll.
anyone know how
maybe
that
they'll.
works?
Maybe they'll
No.
send the explanation.
Yeah.
But the
maybe
next
they'll-
commercial I do, I will have a big Rubio smile for the next time I do a NGBN commercial.
Thank God.
Okay? Yes.
All right, we were going to go to best holidays, but I'm going to switch it up. I want to know childhood differences from old times to now. Old times just being when we were younger. Okay, Charles, we're going to start with you because you're the youngest. But I would say, like, my old times from now, I remember growing up, my rule was when the lights came on, I had to be home within like 10 minutes. That was the standard rule. The street lights came on, go out, see you in the morning, peace out. Street lights came on, you came home within 10 minutes. If you didn't, you're getting beat. Charles, what do you got?
Man, I don't know. We didn't have. It was just kind of a given to be home when it got dark out growing up. But big on getting the Xbox off, which that was tougher when I was younger. It's not tough. It wouldn't be tough now for kids. But when I was younger, I know I'm thinking I'm old now. But they used to have a fan. The fan was so big and loud that my parents could hear it from their room when I was playing it late at night. So that was like the equivalent of the
So
street.
it was like a wind turbine.
Yeah, essentially that was the equivalent, I guess, to the streetlights being home at the streetlights coming on.
Charles, I'm going to stick with you for a second. What did one thing your mom or dad, we'll throw your dad under the bus here, did that you're like, I am never going to do with my kid?
Oh man, I think raise me. No, my parents are great, and that's not just because my dad's downstairs right now. They're great.
Okay, very good. Jenna, what was different now being a child? You're not a child, but I'm saying you see children now as opposed to when you were a kid. What rules did you have that were weird or not weird, just different?
The biggest one and kind of a pet peeve is now when you hang out with adults, kids are always there and they're always in the conversation. And if I say a swear word or something inappropriate, then I get a bad look from them. And it's like, usually when the adults are around, when I was a kid, the kids are gone, And if they are to be seen, they're not to be heard. That is not the case anymore.
I had one of my kids one time was doing that where him and his buddies were hanging around a lot when they were younger and they were super dorky-ish, like 8-ish, 9-ish. And I remember finally he couldn't get the hint. I finally brought him to the side. I said, hey, when you're hanging out with your buddies, you want me and mom to come hang out with you? He's like, well, no. And I go, there's the point. Pick it up, get out. They kind of figured that one out. Bill Geiser, what about difference now? As opposed to when you were
it was
a
a
kid?
different world when I grew up. There was no Xbox. There was no mobile phone. We got up in the morning, we jumped on our bikes, and we didn't come back until dinner. And we could go wherever we wanted. There were no geographic boundaries or, out of bounds. I mean, if we wanted to ride 30 miles away, and we often did, we did it. And our parents didn't know where we were. We didn't know where we were, and neither of us cared. And these days, like when I raised my kids, geez, every second you had your eyes on them. So it was, like I said, it was a different world, different time.
Yeah, 100%. Right now, I'm picturing the movie Stand By Me, where you and your buddies are just getting out, riding your bikes, and wherever you land, you land. Hopefully, you don't see a dead body. Drew,
Hey,
go ahead, Subsidy. Coming
I
in
just
hot.
gotta say, I just gotta say, I'm with Bill. That's how we were, growing up. We would go out, and there was mom just said, Godspeed, be safe. Take a quarter for a phone call on the payphone.
Get out of the house.
Get out of the house, and you didn't come. You didn't come home until it was dark.
Yeah, my dad said, "Here's a quarter. Go play on the toll road."
Yeah. That was a good line too.
My grandfather. Go ahead, Sub 60.
No, I just wanted before you moved on, I wanted to make sure this is the answer to how the credit card works.
Oh, you scrape
On
it.
the
They spelled it
splinter.
wrong.
Yes, you scrape it.
So what if it's embedded? What if it's like under the skin, like really under the skin?
You scrape it.
You use the credit card to pay someone to get it?
You keep scraping it until it comes out. Does that make sense?
I
really.
guess.
Try
It
it.
seems like a pretty weak splinter.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Speaking of getting out of the house, I remember one time my grandfather, he was this big old Italian man. He was deaf as it could be, but he could hear everything. That was his thing. He couldn't hear, but if you did something he didn't like, he could hear it. And he had this massive home. And I remember one time he would say, Christopher, outside, inside or outside. That was his famous line, inside or outside, inside or outside. And I'd go over there all the time during the summer when I was younger because my mom would be at work doing her thing and she didn't want to pay for daycare. So he just got dropped off at my grandparents' house. And they were always old, 60, 70, 80, 90. I can't remember. They were just old people. And one time I was playing basketball against the house, which he put the basketball hoop against the house for some reason. And he didn't like it banging on the house. And so I was outside. He said, no more basketball. So I came in, started bugging him and he goes, in or out? And we're talking like 8:30 in the morning here. And he goes, you got to make a decision right now. And an 8-year-old, this is a big decision. This is like the whole day is 75 hours in your world. And so I said, I guess outside, because he had this huge backyard. I go outside. He literally locked the door. And I couldn't come back out until nighttime. And my grandmother literally fed me through the window. She was so nice that she put food through the window like a little tray of grilled cheese. And so, yeah, that I don't think you can do that nowadays. I would do that. That wouldn't bother me. But I don't know.
I would if I had kids, but
Well, I don't know what you can do in Canada due to the weather. It's so cold. Like Bill can do it. He can just say, here's some money, go swim with a manta ray or something.
it doesn't winter. It doesn't matter. It was outside. You find things to do.
Charles Wallace, were you born and raised in Philly?
I was.
So during the winter, you guys still went outside?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it sucked, but we would still be outside.
Is there snow there or is it just cold?
There's snow. Unfortunately, I hate it, but there's snow.
Okay. Now, Gru, what about your childhood? Where were you raised?
Well, I was raised in Ukraine, which at the time when I was there, it was part of big Soviet Union, and I had about the same childhood as Bill. Where we just go outside, go on our bicycles or go play some soccer or go play some other games outside, and then basically, unless you have to go home to eat or do your homework, you're like outside all day, especially during like spring break and winter, summer vacation stuff, just play with your friends, and do whatever.
Okay. Question for you now, Charles. Would you rather grow up nowadays as a child or Bill's time as a child?
Oh man. I'm a big risk taker, so I don't know what it would be like back then, but I guess I already did it this way, so I might as well try another way.
What about you, Jenna?
I don't know. The kids have it easier nowadays.
Yeah.
But I don't really like the kids nowadays, so probably back then.
Okay, but you know what? We're going to come back to that. Do kids have it easier nowadays? We're going to come back to that after this commercial. Go ahead, Sub 60.
You have been watching Decades, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
This is NGBN TV, a network for men and home to top experts, speakers, authors, and more.
I'm Chris Rubio of The Rubio Method.
I'm Charles Wallace of the Bear Essentials Podcast.
This is Bud from the Sports or Gibberish Podcast.
Streaming TV for men, created by men.
Hello, my name is Ian Hill, and I have the tremendous honor of being the CEO of NGBN.TV. We are so excited for you to join us on this journey, helping us build a television network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
I am NGBN.
I am NGBN.
I am NGBN.
I'm NGBN, and so are you.
Join our movement at NGBN.TV, coming January 2024.
Welcome back to Decades. Take it away, Rubio.
Sub 60 Ed, that commercial was so much better. It was so much more jovial and fun. Everyone looked like they were having a good time.
Hey, if I may, I just want to show
You're
you
going to do it anyway.
I just want to show you this that popped up. Thank you very much, Charles Wallace. Your check is in the mail.
Okay, he's downstairs drinking. That's what he's doing. We wanted to thank everyone for watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course the NGBN.TV network. There's a whole bunch of good shows on there. Jenna just left us with, she would rather be a kid nowadays because it's easier. I almost want to throw back that, Bill, when you and I were kids, and we've got a couple decades between us, there wasn't a lot of stress. Okay.
And a lot less risk. I mean, I
Yeah.
think kids these days are under such an incredible microscope. If you, first of all, let's just sort of collectively agree, when you're a young kid, you do dumb shit stuff.
Well, yeah.
And you do a lot of dumb shit stuff. The difference was when I grew up, none of it got recorded on a smartphone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
No,
today,
even when I
all of
grew
it
up.
gets recorded on a smartphone. And I mean, geez, you say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, you're canceled for life. So give me yesterday from that standpoint.
I remember
You could be
growing
a
up-
kid and you could make stupid mistakes and they didn't haunt you for the rest of your life. You know, some guy might have beat you up or something, but that's about it. No, it's today's kids are too much under the digital microscope, and they can't.
Yeah, I
escape
remember
it.
when I was a kid, the worry we had in Los Angeles was smog. So you'd have, like you couldn't go out to recess, and that pissed you off.
Or the night
But there
air.
was the whole, bad air, and then we had earthquake drills where you had to get under the desk because that $18 wood desk is going to save you when the school collapses. But that was the big worries. But like Bill said, nowadays, you get into a fight, you got 45 people videotaping it. It's everywhere. Videotaping. I just dated myself. Jesus. Okay. Recording it. Back in the day, it would be, okay, we're at 3:00. We're going to fight in the hallway, or we're going to fight in the parking lot. And maybe 6 or 7 people knew about it, if the word spread fast enough. But it was much more of an easier time. I think there's less stress. There's less stuff happening. I mean, I don't remember sporting wise. Charles, you're a big sports guy. Did you grow up with like year-round baseball, basketball, and football? Because my generation did not have that at all. You went from football to basketball to baseball, maybe golf or swimming in the summer. There was no one. I don't even think it existed unless I didn't hear about it. Was baseball year-round or things like that? Charles?
I mean, I jumped between the seasons. I didn't do anything year round until I was in high school. And once I was in high school, I went like just full time doing wrestling. But I played soccer, I played baseball, I did wrestling until high school.
But when you were like 6th, 5th, 4th grade, did people do year-round sports? Was that a thing? I'm trying to ask, like, was your memory? Do you remember that?
Not that I really know of. I mean, it was mostly, I mean, there might have been a couple, but for the most part, everyone went with the seasons and did a different sport each season.
And I'm assuming, Jenna, you and Gru, you guys, hockey is just year round. What else do you
Well,
do?
in my case, it was soccer and hockey.
Oh, soccer.
Yes.
Okay. Not too
Yeah,
bad.
hockey. Well, when the hockey season's out, everyone goes to hockey camp. So
When is hockey season?
in Canada,
Year round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
year round.
pretty much. But I mean, it starts September till
August.
maybe, and then it's hockey camp.
At hockey camp, they ship them out to hockey camp land or whatever.
No, I've never been. I just know. I don't know where they are. Somewhere, but it's year round.
Okay. Gru, what would you rather do? Would you rather be young or with Bill Geiser your age, or let's say right now, Chalice? Chalice, you grew up with a cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think I would probably pick good things from both in my childhood and today's childhood. In my childhood, the biggest stress for adults and kids back in so-called socialism time was how to get food and stuff, because we had shortages with so many things over the years. Okay. Especially when it gets closer to like holidays, like New Year's Eve or like somebody's birthday, to get some, food that you don't really get on a daily basis was always a challenge.
Okay. I think we can all agree no one wanted Gru's childhood, especially not me.
No. Well, and of course, it was no cell phones.
For food.
Yeah, it was no cell phones, no computers. We had to go to a library to do homework, and do research. Literally, you walk there and you use your pen and paper and you take a book and you basically, you just basically take notes.
Okay, but is everything relative? Because you just said something that was interesting to me that, okay, the kids have it better nowadays. And immediately, for some reason, my mind went to what Charles was talking about with the video games. Okay, I remember Bill, you'll know this as well. We had like the Asteroid game, for, what was it, Atari 2600. That came out. It was like, oh my God. And you had Pong, where it was like block, and there was a ball that went like this. And if you could get it, that was groundbreaking. And then the rich kids got Coleco. And then there was Intellivision. That was pretty sweet. And that's when you had like Tecmo Bowl. That's when Nintendo came out. But I remember when Nintendo came out, that was like groundbreaking. It was, oh my God. And the graphics, when you look back at them now, were absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
You look at graphics now on a video game and you're like, what movie is this? They're like, no, this is a video game. But I remember we were playing track and field. And so how everything is relative, you had to press A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. And then some older kid taught us, you get a AA battery, put it in your hand and you rub it back and forth. And it's like twice as fast. And I remember thinking, well, this is like the invention of the rocket ship here. Like this can't get any better. So is it all relative where back then, Gru gets a loaf of bread, I get a AA battery and I'm doing this. And it's just as good. It's just as good as say Jenna finding something, new, or Charles following something new. Charles, am I barking up the wrong tree or am I right?
No, I agree. I think you're right. I think it's all relative to the time period that you grew up in.
Yeah.
And it's going to be wild to think of like our kids, what they're going to have and what's going to be different and how much it can grow. I don't know. Bill, you're the tech dude. How much more can technology grow? I mean, my thought would be the next thing is going to be just like a hologram TV where you just put it in the middle of the room. So it doesn't even have to be on a wall.
It's going to keep going for as long as any of us are around here. I don't think we've tapped out, the technology evolution cycle by any stretch of the imagination. My guess is if you were to compare it to a baseball game, we're still in the second or third inning. There's a lot more to go. There's a lot more to come.
I agree.
Okay. We're going to end on that because I don't know if I'm depressed now since Bill just said that, or I'm excited. I don't know.
Just spitting the truth.
You automatically cannot pick Bill as a winner for that because he just depressed me.
Well, actually, yeah, because he depressed you. Why not? Hey, it's simple. That's an easy pick. He got you, man. Come on.
All right. Yeah, thank you all.
That's for all your negative comments about my great award-winning commercial I did for the station. And
let me reenact it. Let me reenact it. I am.
No, you got to leave more. I am.
Yes, you got to
make my head twice the size to get that sub-60 head.
That's great.
I am.
Yeah, love you all. That's great. Bill, you're the winner. Because you're the
Give it
nicest
up
guy
for Bill.
ever.
We want to thank everyone on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and NGBN.TV. We will start back up weekly, or no, we're going to go every other week right now.
Yeah.
Every other, yeah.
On Tuesday or Wednesday. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We're on Spotify as well, right? Sub 60?
Yes.
Fantastic. Have conversations with those people that you normally would not. Okay. Have a good time, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching Decades on the NGBN.TV network. Be sure to spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook.